Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the notion of quote-unquote scaling down bureaucracy here in Thailand. A recent article from the Bangkok Post, it's bangkokpost.com, article is titled "Time to Rethink Future Growth Channels." Quoting directly, it says, exclusive interview, double whammy of COVID-19 impact and transition into an aged society requires a proactive investment policy and an overall government bureaucracy. And this article is basically, it's interviewing the Kla party leader and former finance minister Korn Chatikavanit. But I thought it was interesting because there's a lot in here. Again, bangkokpost.com, time to rethink future growth channels, this interview. This was especially noteworthy to me, this quote here, quoting directly, and this is from Mr. Korn himself, quoting directly, the government needs to increase methods to generate income, focus on foreign investment, startups, and expenditure reduction by implementing reforms to scale down the bureaucratic system and increase efficiency by introducing technology in public services, he said. You know, I have to say, Mr. Korn brings up something that it's a fair critique. You know, bureaucracy, we've seen a lot of it. I'm sure a lot of the expats watching this will say, yeah, you know, the immigration apparatus in the past few years has gotten far more sophisticated, but sophisticated in the sense that it requires a lot more out of those who are seeking benefits from it compared to times past. Is that good or bad? You know, depending on your perspective, there are those who would argue perhaps from a law enforcement perspective that some of this stuff has been necessary. There are also those who would argue, and I think they have a pretty good argument, that it has had an impact of discouraging certain long-staying retirees and long-staying expats. Now, in a sort of a broader sense, those who do business here in Thailand and deal with things like the work permits and visas to maintain status here in Thailand, as well as certain aspects of things like corporate and tax compliance, yeah, the bureaucracy is pretty daunting. It's I would say Byzantine is not an incorrect statement or an incorrect adjective to use to describe it. Now, will this change anytime soon? It may not, but definitely good to see there's discussion on this, at least at a level where, you know, folks are sort of looking at this issue. Hopefully, something will come to fruition which will provide some benefits to some folks in the nearer term rather than the further term.